So, thank you very much that you are here, that you are on stage with me. It's a great honor for me to talk to you about your designs and your artworks. And I would like to give the word to Axel Stumpf. He starts and gives you a short glimpse, a short impression of his stunning work for the Antares Festival. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Antje, for introduction. And as you said, my name is Axel, and I'm the head of production of Antares Festival. But not only the head of production, I see myself as a visual choreographer of the whole festival. Antares Festival is a psychedelic trance festival and one of the oldest in Germany. We had 30th anniversary this year and celebrated big this year. And this psychedelic trance, it's a kind of movement. It's a special culture. It's a kind of heritage of the 60s, of the blacklight art, in the counterculture of the hippies and beatniks in the 60s, according to the psychedelic rock music playing in the 60s. So it's a kind of remix of the 60s we celebrate in the nowadays with modern equipment and electronic music. Depending on the psychedelic music, we produce psychedelic art. This is totally different from other festivals because we don't have huge stages. We have a dance floor. We have a decorated dance floor which gives the people dancing into trance a nice surrounding, place to stay. And my part is more than creating a dance floor or a stage. My first task is to create the whole infield of the festival, containing the dance floors and the marketplace. When we start working, we find a 30 hectares, almost plain meadow and nothing more. It's just an airfield. We need 2 weeks to set up the festival. In these 2 weeks, the whole infield is growing to a colorful place, completely surrounded. Where we don't have decoration, there's just nothing, just a meadow. So this is my first big task to create this whole place, to get the people surrounding to feel good. After these 2 weeks, it's completely surrounded by art shops, restaurants, and bars. And coming to the next task, create the construction of the dance floor and the stages. We have 2 dance floors, the Psy floor, which has around 50 meters in diameter, and the techno floor having around 25 meters. The supporting construction, the structure, is made of steel pipes and steel cables, which have to be stable as more decoration is set up in these fields. And this is the next really difficult part, to make the plans for this construction. And the next part is to find the artists of decoration, light, laser, and the video projections, and get them together. And endless talkings with them to get a concept, that they all work together, that you don't order a laser man which is not according to the light man. And this gives the special shape for the surrounding. And this is the biggest part, to get them all together and create this atmosphere. The goal is to create a temple. It's a dance temple, and people love it. We have 2 purposes. The first one in the daytime is to keep shadow for the people dancing in the sunlight. The next one is to create a virtual room in the nighttime to let the people go into this psychedelic atmosphere, which is created with sound and light and decoration. We are not focused on a stage. The stage is even more small, and the atmosphere is accorded by the dance floor. And the goal for the future is to make the whole construction more stable, because we had some problems with the weather, the climate change. We see in the summer in Germany, we see that there are thunderstorms coming which we never had before, and the huge thunderstorms. Can I have the second presentation, please? Yeah, waiting for the photo of the coming thunderstorm. Yeah, you see the bad weather coming, and this was really a pity this year, because the construction did not help with the first storm, and you see in the next photo what happened. The dance floor was damaged. It was we were lucky that it happened one day before the festival. So we had just one day to set up the whole construction. And you saw the photos as it was looking like after we set it up again. So nobody was hurt. And this is the cause of the climate change. Now we see directly here, and this is what we deal with in the future. Now, so we have to exchange the metal pipes through really thick trunks and make the whole construction much more stable for the future. And the future, for me, it's brighter, not bigger. We use technical equipment. I have a vision that one day maybe we got just a blue room and everything you see is just projected. Holographic projections may come. This is my vision finally, yes, but it's a long way. We use new technologies. We use the new laser technologies. In the past, lasers needed a lot of water for cooling. The new laser technology does not need any cooling water anymore. We use projectors, laser projectors, which have much more power than the old ones and are closed systems and have higher resolutions and are resistant against water and dust. We will use pixel LED stripes, which offer us new possibilities. And I think this is a part of the future, not to use material which is not sustainable. And this is our vision, this is our project. So,
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. When we did our first talks about your topics, and you said to me, you describe yourself as the social heart of your production, and I got it that you say you see yourself more like a you create something like you create a room which is very comfortable for the people on your festival. You're not creating such a impressive stage or something like that. You say you are more in this, that you develop a safe space, a space where everyone is included, and you have more this social point about your creatings. And we talked also about this environmental thing, about this more sustainable designs you need for this, but we can talk about this later. I think I would like to go to my next to my next guest. Thank you very much, Axel. I go to Michael. I would like to ask you, as a visual artist, as an introduction to show us a bit of your work. That would be great. And maybe we can talk afterwards how your look in the crystal ball is, how the things change for design for festivals.
Yes. Hello, my name is Michael. I'm an art director, and I work as well in commercial projects as well as in artistic projects. I work as well in stage design. That's why we are here as well. But I do mostly, my work is visual arts or like
Sorry?
Visuals, sorry.
You have to put your mic.
Oh my God. Yes, so in the back you can see like an excerpt of a few projects that I did over the last years with various partners and also various agencies that I worked with in Berlin. Yes, so this is in the moment I work for this label Afterlife, and this is my main occupation. For the last, let's say, 6 years, we are deeply going into like the visual world and also like the bigger stages. Different from what Axel said before, is like we are more driven towards creating stage designs and giving the classic, I would call it like a more classic kind of situation for the audience. So people come and people see, and the stages are mostly big, and I think the images you can see here is still like the smaller stages we did. So in the last 2 years, this was growing a lot, and also the stages are getting much bigger. It's a little bit unsorted, but it just shows like the range of work I do. I also do a lot of light design for dance, and I was also working for a ballet company like for 6 years, just to be like as a part of the team, let's say, for lighting, video, and stage design. I also worked in designing clubs. This is one club in Italy that we did like 5 years ago together with another person from Munich. I was also part of the collective from Berlin called Pfadfinderei for quite a while, working for them as well for stage design, show visuals, and so on. What else can I say? It's a little bit, it's tough not to see what is shown there.
Yeah, you can see it there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so in the end, I'm not bound to one concept. I work with different people. Also, I have to say, for the show design of Afterlife, what you can see here, we work in a team of like at least 10 people right now, I think, creative team and production team. We also, of course, have all the positions in there. Like I have a light designer there. We have like multiple people that are stage designers, so to say, as well, like external, internal. And of course, we have a team of 4 people that is working together on the whole artwork, show visual, and also content design in the end. This was basically for the last 2 years since the pandemic, because in the pandemic, what you can see, these kind of things we could not do during the pandemic. And I don't know, like you didn't mention that, but for me it was basically shut down. From the last moment I remember is I was flying to São Paulo to set up like a festival or show, and after 4 hours we were basically flying back. That was the last thing. For the whole Corona or the whole pandemic, we were working mostly digital. So we also created all these spaces that you can see, but of course in a bigger concept digitally. So we did one big project with Tomorrowland. Probably you guys know the festival, where we put the whole stage design into a virtual world. I can also talk about this later a little bit more, what kind of influence this had, of course, on the work now. And but since then, really, yeah, since the pandemic, basically, I was on tour. So I spent, even though I'm based in Berlin, I spent 3 months since the pandemic in Berlin, more or less. What else can I say?
Thank you. I think we got a very nice impression of your work.
Yes.
And it's really stunning, I guess. And I would like to give the word to Björn to introduce yourself, your work, and your company, Create. And yeah, let's do it.
My name is Björn Berkers. I'm the founder and owner of Create. We are basically, well, let's first show if this works. This doesn't work. I think we do have to do it. Yeah. Does it? Doesn't start.
A dream of faraway places, of magical and wondrous things. It's calling. Chasing the light that leads to pure imagination. Where dreams are real. Where unexpected journeys find a way. And humble beginnings form powerful memories. A spark becomes an idea. An idea becomes reality. Reality becomes an experience. A dream becomes real. Create amazing things.
Well, that summarizes basically what we do. We create amazing things. That was our company movie. We did it a little bit different than the normal company movies do because we think as a creative agency, we also do it a little bit different. I'm just gonna try it again. I think it works now. Just talk you through a little bit through Create, how it was founded, when it was founded, and the things we do. Or we can skip this one if you want. Basically what we do is we translate creative designs into realistic productions, because normally we get challenged a lot by designers and they don't know how to build things, and we normally can give them the solution. So what we do is we do the engineering and the production, also supply people on site to do the installation, and sometimes we also take it down, and that also is an important part of the reuse I'm going to come back to a bit later. The next one, please. The thing we do is we build temporary decorations for permanent memories. The focus is on temporary, because everything we do is not permanent, like festival of attractions for theme parks. This is basically the timeline. We have been founded Create in October in 2016, so we're quite a young company. Especially if you include the 2 years of Corona we had. In Corona we had to also find a creative solution for not having any work. Then we started producing home office furniture. A little bit different than we would normally do with big stages, but then we did that. And eventually it went so well that we had a lot of work to do in the Corona period. Another thing that I will come back to is a recreate. There's something new that especially is focused on sustainability and circularity in decoration. Next one, please. This is where we started. There's an old factory building in 2017. Then in 2018, all of a sudden, Perukaville decided to give us the option to build their stage, and then the facility was too small. So we had to rent another one. And then in 2020, you can go fast forward, we built our own new workshop, which is about 2,500 square meters, including office and everything. And that's where we built everything you've seen. We built over there. And now, I'm a bit of a numbers guy, so we only have 14 people fixed employed. We've only been around now for 6 years, so we're quite really, again, a really young company. We have about 170 projects from big to small. And we've supplied decorative experiences in more than 8 countries. 300 trailers of decoration have been transported from our facility to the on-site location. More than 400 kilometers of wood have been used in our decorations. 15 Formula One drivers have been standing on our stages. More than 200 million people saw the things we've made. And that has been done with 200,000 labor hours of work, I think even more. The widest stage we've ever produced was 200 meters wide. That was the Perukaville in Reise. And the highest, I think, was also Perukaville, was 32 meters high. And these are some of the things we've built. This is Dominator from last year. This is World Club Dome, the zombie stage, or at least the hardstyle stage. They should remember that one, I think. It's a Shutdown Festival in Austria. Airbeat 1 in Germany. This is also for theme parks. We do a lot of the decorative items. This is a show they do in the summer. We've built this one. We take it down again, store it, and then build it up again for the next 3 years. And because they also want to be more sustainable instead of making a thing for 1 year and then throw it away. This is for the Formula One. We've built this one, the ceremony stage, and the stage on the hill where there was some, where La Fuente and so on was making some music. This was last year's Perukaville. We also built that one, so we've been quite busy last year. But we also do other things, like for Cartier. We built this one. This is the facade of a shop which was under construction, and they didn't like it, so they said, well, could you build something really cool? And I said, well, I think we can do it. So we had 4 weeks to produce this and install it in the middle of Amsterdam. Also, another theme park is for the Efteling. I don't know if everybody knows it here, but this is also what we made. And this has been used for 3 years. So they also think sustainability is really important, so they design something and they reuse it for more than 2 or 3 years. Well, to show you a little bit how this process goes, you can see that the design is normally gets supplied by the client to us, and then we translate it into productional drawings. This is the way we get it supplied by Perukaville, for example, this 2019. And then we make it into really small puzzle pieces, because the stage you saw was 200 meters wide, so we had to divide it in really small pieces. And every piece gets broken down to the last piece of wood, and every piece of wood gets its own number. Because if something breaks or something gets lost, then we always can use the number and to find it back or make a new one. Then we make our planning. We only have 16 days to build Perukaville, the decoration. So that's really, well, it's enough time, but it's not really much days if you count the number of work. And eventually, this is how it looks like when it's finished. This is a nice picture because it says no, it's not allowed to take any pictures. And this is when it was opened in 2019. We are really working on circularity of reusing decorations and also the materials itself. What we've done is we've divided our waste into internal waste and external waste. Internal waste is the waste we produce ourselves in our workshop, which is about 30% of everything we buy. We throw away in the dustbin because it's not usable anymore. And once we sell our decorations to the customer, normally 80% of every decoration gets thrown in the dustbin. And in 2025, we would like to take that back to 10% of all the materials internally, and only that should be externally should be 50%. It's 80, but should be 50, should be by half. How we're going to do it? We've launched a new label since this year. It's called Recreate. The bird is normally red, now it's green. Also because it's more, the green is also associated with sustainability. What we're going to do now, we're going to store decoration. We do rental, so we rent out the customer's decoration so they can store it, and we rent it out for them so they can earn money back. We have a prep location they can rent because we think touring sets and everything that's been used for more than once should are really important. So we would like to facilitate that with the location, and eventually we will want to take all the materials back and recycle it back to new materials. And this is where, we're now building this workshop as we speak, and it should be ready in January. This is 2 weeks ago, so something moved over there.
Yeah, thank you very much for your for the impressions and for the impressive picture of your work. I'd like to ask if you look on the last, I think, 3 to 5 years, I have to say, because of the corona pandemic. What would you say, which are the biggest changes in this last years when it comes to design for festivals? What changed a lot, or maybe where is the focus in design for festivals, as your experience?
I think it's more like it's around normally it was just a facade, and now it's getting more surrounded by the public. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I see happening more and more.
Mm-hmm. What would you say? Did you see any? You both, all of you said something about the corona pandemic. You said, okay, that was the total stop for us, for you, and for you as well. So, and you said that changed a lot also for our designs. Could you give us a short impression? Which are the changes for that?
For us, the biggest change was that we had in the years before hand-painted decoration because we almost use fabric. And nowadays we have much more details in colors and in patterns because we use now digital print technology, which gives us much more possibilities, even with more fine and transparent fabric to color it. And this is the biggest change for us. Mm-hmm. The construction itself, it stands, and the other big change is the climate.
Okay, so you use this, I think, break to improve your digital experience for the design, or would you say it like that?
yes, the design gets much more filigrane. And this is kind of this psychedelic art that you have many, many details in the decoration. And now you can create patterns and color flows with the computer and print it digital. No? So, and hand painted the artists for this 1,700 square meters dance floor. He needs a whole year to paint it. No? And this is the question of the price. No? Hand painted decoration is much more expensive. The print is, the UV prints are not cheap, no? But the time is, he needs 2 weeks to print the whole decoration. This is the difference. He can do much more projects and needs much less money for the production.
Yeah, you would say that the Corona pandemic break improved your digitalization of your designs. So, Michael, what would you say? How did you use this? Yeah, unfortunately, break of the pandemic. How did you use it for yourself or for your work? And what changed, in your opinion?
I think what changed for us is that is different than the other two, since we are touring worldwide, meaning that we always rely on the local teams or local workforce, basically, of people. So for us, what changed is that we worked with a lot of people before to make decorations, for example, also like the stage you saw in Mexico. And we are doing this again, and now we are going exactly the opposite. So we have people working there. We have people that are actually painting the stages, because the growth of the brand versus being worldwide and like getting other people involved into this process. So whenever we go somewhere, for example, next year or like this year, we went to like Medellin or like mostly South America, Buenos Aires, São Paulo. We involve local teams for the production of the stage, and like then we collect ideas if we can. This time, for example, for Mexico, there's also like a really well-known group of or company basically creating all the stage design, like hand painted in this case. Yeah. And they already started to work on that. So for us it was more because we are traveling worldwide and we don't have like we are not based like in Berlin, let's say, for the festival itself. We have many different festivals all over the world. What changed for us is including even more local people to provide kind of like a situation where people can work, where artistic work can be done. And as well, of course, like on the other side, for me as well, I involve much more people. If we go somewhere, I always look for at least 1 or 2 artists, also for the visual artworks, that are local. Oh. So I work with people. If we go to Buenos Aires, I work with at least 2 people in Buenos Aires. If we go to Los Angeles, I pick there. So I think this changed a lot more for me personally, and my vision is to include people wherever we go, from wherever we go.
Thank you. And Björn, how was it for you?
I think that our customers were more, because all the materials themselves became much more expensive, so they had to think another way, use different materials, or they should think about reusing it for more than one time, because normally they only use it once, then threw it away, but it's just too expensive now just to use it once. So they had to think 2 years ahead instead of only 1 year, or they had to choose for different materials.
Mm-hmm. So, and you said that during Corona you did a lot of other things than creating stages. So what influence has that for your work at all?
It showed that our company is really flexible, because the the knowledge we have in our company can be used for a lot of different kind of work. So whatever happens now, we always have something to do. So that's good that we had the proof during Corona that we always can do something, and that we can really switch really fast. So that was also nice to see.
Mm-hmm. And you said it already that you want to involve more people, from more local people in your designs. That leads me to my question to ask you. There are different concepts of creating stages or environments or in spaces for festivals, which including sometimes the crowd, the guests in the designs. How would you say which role plays the crowd for you, or the audience which is coming for your designs? Does it make any difference, or how does it or how did it change the last year? Does it make any difference, or is it? Sorry.
I think it's more that the brand decides what the stage design should be, and it doesn't really depend on the public that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a certain signature that you have for your festival. It should be around the world, everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, if it's in Mexico or in Beek-en-Donk, for example, for Wish, the stage design is the same.
Yeah, it's more like a trademark for
yeah,
the
it's like
festivals.
a trademark, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
to show it. And if we had it already as a topic. If you think about sustainability, you said you changed the producing process. You are doing this new company, Recreate, to do a more sustainable and reusing materials to do a more sustainable work for the stages. How do you think? If you look in a crystal mirror ball for the next years, how do you think will the design for festivals change? So, or which role would sustainability probably play for that?
Yeah, I think it will change a lot, because we see already. And I see it mostly in the Netherlands, actually, and then also in Belgium on these huge festivals that we are also taking part in, that sustainability is a big topic, basically. No one wants to waste material, and no one wants to really waste money anymore, and things get more expensive. That's also what I can say for our part. We are always trying to use materials that are not, ordered. We are trying to, of course, if we go to Mexico, we try to use material that no one goes into the jungle and cuts down everything. It's like more, we're trying to use material that has already been somewhere collected because it's, I don't know, the leaves, for example. And we use real leaves for this, but then we use the ones that are laying on the floor, but we are not going and cutting everything down, as an example. But what I also see is what you said, and I think this is a great idea, to kind of store certain kind of parts of the stage design. What is probably easier if you have like a local kind of support, and also like if you have, when you don't think about like all this transportation so much, because I cannot take everything that I want and go with this kind of schedule if we have a show in Mexico on one day and then next week is in Buenos Aires and the next week is in Los Angeles. I cannot carry or transport stuff so easily to another place, at least. But what we are doing, we are bringing our stuff, and we are not wasting this kind of energy. But I think we still have to work a lot on this factor. What you guys already, I think, incorporated really well in your structure. But I think it's also a different position if you are like a touring act, and that's what I said to you before as well, that we also spoke last year to the team of Coldplay in São Paulo, and they are trying to really like do this on a huge scale, like with the dance floor creating electricity, like all the wristbands are getting handed out, being collected again, reused and stuff. And I think this is a lot of effort that they are taking as a touring act, and this costs a lot of money. And I think not every touring act can actually, unfortunately, afford to be, even if they want to be, you cannot afford every single position to be fully correctly 100% sustainability by now. And I hope this changes so that also the structures get easier to apply to certain kind of models of festivals or stages. This is what I hope, at least, that the opportunity or the options get better to use also, or reuse, recreate, redo something, and not always everything from scratch and new, and
Yeah. You wanted to say?
Yeah, I think that design is essential in making it more circular, because it's you should use the same amount of decoration each year and make it look completely different every year, and that's a completely different way of designing, because normally you start from scratch and then you have like a Lego box of Lego pieces, and then you need to design something new every year with the same amount of pieces. But the design process is essential, making it more circular and more sustainable.
Yeah, we talked a lot about materials and a lot about of thinking that the whole festival as once, and to include the whole process in it. Would you think that it will change also your designs, maybe a totally different way of creating festival spaces? If you think in the future, in the last years we had to imagine that the stages were increasingly bigger, and the shows were greater and more imposant, and it went bigger and bigger and bigger. And now I'm asking myself, will this sustain the sustainable topic, and also our experience with the corona pandemic, will it change maybe also about our designs for such spaces?
I think it also depends on what the visitor will accept, because we can make it bigger each year, but we can also make it smaller and still make it look nice, but that also needs to be accepted by the visitor. Because if they don't accept it, then you cannot make any money as a festival organization.
Yeah.
So if the visitor accepts a smaller stage, then we can easily be more sustainable.
Of course. I think it's a balance between both sides.
Yeah.
But I think also it doesn't mean necessarily that the stage needs to be smaller to be sustainable.
Well,
I think it's well executed, for example, and I don't know, like what I believe. Yeah, I can always say just like in the Netherlands, because this is where I see really that like everything is in a plan. You know, like for example, I don't know, like what was this? Also Tomorrowland, for example. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of stuff maybe going that people would say it's not sustainable, but I think they are working so much in integrating or doing this park or working in the same environment, creating these kind of structures where everything gets cleaned up immediately, spotless. There's like they replant the grass, they replant the trees that they take down, everything to be more involved also in the environment. Everything takes place. Of course, if you have Sauna Festival, what is in the middle of Barcelona, I don't know if there's so much of a sustainability that comes to nature. It's more about maybe use of electricity or building materials. But I think every festival and probably it's mostly the festivals that are taken outside and not in like a place like this, they should definitely work towards like a more sustainable environment. And I remember as well when we had our last show in Los Angeles, basically included in everything was replacing the whole ground where the stage was standing to make it again like normal, replacing the grass, replacing the structure, everything that just went down like a centimeter needs to be replaced and reordered by a special force of people. Mm-hmm. So this was one of the topics that we had to deal with and also pay for, basically, so that everything gets cleaned up properly, there's no waste of stage or festival anymore in this park, because it's a multi-use kind of situation, depending.
Yeah.
This depends, of course, on the city and on the promoter as well, on the local people. And this is also like a different idea that people have. So I can tell from experience that probably people in Colombia have a different idea of sustainability than also people in Sao Paulo or in the United States or here and there. and it really depends. And I can, like, South America for me was mostly positive, what I heard, because they are already in the nature and they work with nature, and the whole cities are a jungle. So I think that there's a more awareness than in Chicago or New York.
Yeah,
probably.
of course. Axel, did you want to say something to this?
Yes, with the sustainability, it's what Björn said, to find the right balance. It makes no sense to pack 300 trailers of material and not to see how many carbon you will pollute only with the transport.
Yeah.
So the transport is one of the basic aspects for me. Now, when you set up huge stages like they do, you have this transport. No? So I think it's not only the decoration. In first step, you get 30 trailers from Megaforce with the ground stage, and then the decoration on top. And there we have to find the right balance. It's not only to recycle the material finally. No? When you have 300 trailers to bring back again, yeah, you have the same pollution like in the transport to the place. It depends on the distance you have. No? We use our decoration many years, and it's just a steel construction we have in our storage 5 kilometers away from the festival ground, and the rest is just fabric. No? It's transportation, it's one lorry with fabric, and the whole area is set up. No? And I remember you for what I said before. My vision is that one day everything you see, it's just virtual reality. We come to this point where you don't need to build a stage, you just need to build a blue room, and everything the crowd will see is what you project into this blue room.
Yeah, that's bad news for you. So,
and I'm just going to build a lot of blue rooms, so that's no problem.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that we all made this experience with more digitalization of design. We made this experience of that everything goes like bigger, and I think maybe the solution is not only to do it in sustainable materials, to reuse things. That's all. Maybe we have to think about our designs, or maybe to change how we create spaces for festivals. That's maybe my thought about this. Yes, okay. Maybe we could go at least. We have 10 minutes left. Maybe there are some questions from the crowd, from the audience here. I would like to ask if someone wants to, someone has a question for our guests here on stage. It would be great if we have. Oh, there is someone. You will get a microphone. Thank you.
So, hi. So in cases of digitalization, is there a shift that especially Björn noticed, that the stages are going to be more like LED walls, or is it still very physical?
It really depends, because the Dominator stage, for example, this year had no LED screens at all. They skipped everything, because the year before they had a lot of LEDs. Now they take everything away. But Perukaville, for example, this year had a lot of LED screens, just to incorporate the digital world into with the physical decoration. So it really depends on the festival what they do.
Any more? Thank you for your question. Okay, is there an? Okay, there's the microphone. There's another question over there.
Thank you very much for the presentation so far. I was just wondering if you say that's like costing so much carbon or to pollution of carbon dioxide, if you transport so much material, just for example the stage, isn't there like also maybe the possibility to just make festivals on a more permanent ground where like most of the structures could stay and not like shipping everything from one part to the other? So if the festival itself would already search for places where they could stay for a longer period, they would like save all the carbon dioxide they need for transportation. They wouldn't have the waste after everything needs to be turned down, where 80% maybe or 50% is like just going into the waste bin. Have you seen like any solution for this, that it might be permanent for some time?
This is the project I'm working at, but it's hard to find a place because it's not just for one festival. You need a place to make more festivals, and you don't have only the carbon pollution, you have the sound pollution as well, and you have people living there. We are in Germany. No? You can't go 20 kilometers to find nobody. No? So everywhere people are living, and you have to find the right place to invent this festival ground where you have a surrounding which is sustainable and useful for more festivals. And in my opinion, it's possible, but not for the big players, only for 5,000, 10,000 in maximum. Maybe you can find a right place for this. So this is the problem.
What I think personally in my situation is that as long as there's money involved from any kind of promoter, there will be never one venue to do more than one thing, because everyone has like his history or like vision and like a special place where they go. And I think this might be a good idea, and I totally I'm in for that. But I think it will be super difficult. It's almost like giving politicians, like that they have the same opinion. We have to decide on one place or one opinion or one thing. I think is really tough to do that. That might work for a couple of things, but since what I also figured is that since the pandemic, everyone is much more strong in their belief of their own brand. If it comes to the music that I create, or like even also the festivals, they have their own brand. So they want to be special, they want to be seen, they want to have their own design. And I think therefore it's really tough to basically, if you, for example, would say, then, I don't know, Tomorrowland, Awakenings, Parukaville, they should all be in one place. Then you can think by yourself if they would do it. Because I know for them it's like the place is also like, for these festivals, I don't know about Parukaville, I've never been there, but I know for Tomorrowland, for example, that like the place it's held in is really important for them, and they have it for the next 30 years or something, like just to, because the place is also something really important for a festival nowadays. But I'm totally in for this idea because it makes a lot of sense. And yes, what we said about carbon is like, I think it's also tough really to basically share material these days, because that's why this whole thing here is happening. Everyone has his own business and people want to sell and make money. So that's why there's not so many, and I believe as well in the pandemic, a lot of these rental companies, even the big ones, could not maintain their business anymore. So there's only a few now, and then you can rent stuff from them and you can reuse it. That's what we all do probably. But there's only a few, and they make, of course, they kind of create like the value of it, or like they tell how much it costs to rent an LED screen, or like to rent like a rigging system for the stage and everything. So I think this is all good ideas and concepts and start, but I think it's hard to convince a lot of people that have to make a living to bring everyone on a table and make one decision that fits for everyone. I believe I think it's a challenge, but it's worth trying. I think it would be super. I would love that actually.
And when we find this table, yes, we won't have this event anymore because we have a table to talk to each other and don't need this business here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So basically, you can see this here on this festival, what is happening. That there's a lot of ideas and people are creative. People have different topics in this whole industry. No matter the music is so many different layers, and you see it here. You know, like he's building and restructuring. They have like a certain kind of design. We have a certain kind of design, and everyone is trying to bring it out to the people and find like a fan base or like a community or like whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm totally on your side. This is a very good idea and a really nice vision to have it like that. But I think actually it's really hard. I wouldn't say no, but it's really hard to manage to get the people together which are doing these festivals. So we are on the end of our talk. I say many thanks to you guys. Many thanks that you were here on stage. I say thank you to the audience and wish you a very pleasant time on the Future Festival. The last hours now, and yeah, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.